Hello, my name is Pat Donnelly. I work with West Virginia University Safety and Health Extension, and I work with a program called the Timber Safe Network. West Virginia has a terrible rate of deaths on logging jobs, the highest in the nation, over 20 times higher than the national average. As you can see behind me, we're on an active logging job. This is Sisler Construction and Logging. They invited us on the job today to talk about the top 5 safety violations I've seen in over 500 safety audits I've done on different log jobs all around the state. Let's remember, PPE is not a baseball hat, a hoodie, and a pair of jeans. PPE encompasses a hard hat, safety glasses, high vis, and a pair of steel-toed boots. All these are required on a log job. If you don't have them, you need to get them. Why? Because it may prevent something bad from happening. If you're cutting trees by hand, you need the logger's helmet, which include hard hat, mesh screen, hearing protection, usually by the way of muffs. Also, a pair of ANSI-approved safety glasses, chaps or cutting pants, a pair of cut-resistant boots if you don't have cut-resistant boots, a pair of Kevlar socks, also a pair of gloves. This is what you need each and every time you cut trees, whether it's 90 degrees out or 20 below zero out. These are the things that are needed. Yes, can they be uncomfortable? But boy, I tell you what, they can make a big difference if something happens. The second thing I look at is the rolling stock, your skidders, your dozers, your track vehicles, say for example your Feller Buncher. They have inherent safety equipment built into them, but also there's stuff that we need to have on a daily basis.
OSHA requires a pre-shift inspection of all equipment. If defects are found, which could affect safe operation, equipment must be pulled from service, tagged out, and repaired. Using and maintaining your equipment according to the manufacturer is the best way to avoid safety-related problems in the first place.
Are your employees wearing their seatbelts each and every time? Not just, well, it's not steep ground, so I don't wear my seatbelt. Every single time. You get in the machine, you put your seatbelt on. Is there a good hard hat in that machine? So when you do get out of the cab, you put your hard hat on. Very simple. Is there flying debris around? Yes. But, do we have our safety glasses available? Is there an owner's manual, operator's manual in the machine or on job site? OSHA requires you to have that on a job. Is your fire extinguisher fully charged? Is it readily accessible? Some of the newer machines, especially in the Feller Buncher, will have fire suppression systems. Is it fully functioning?
And every fire extinguisher needs to have an inspection tag. Documenting a monthly OSHA-required inspection is important.
When you're around trees, when you're felling trees, whether it be with a Feller Buncher or whether it be by hand cutting, you need to be 2 tree lengths away from every other employee or machine. So if something goes south, you're out of the way, so there's no problem there. Do you have a safety management program? Do you have the ability to do a monthly safety meeting with all employees, get them to sign off and date it? Do you have paperwork you can do an accident report or an accident investigation? Do you have paperwork if you do any additional trainings you can document it? Do you have a way to document or keep track of first aid cards? They need to be renewed about every 2 years. Do you have ability to track that so you know when everybody needs it? How do you communicate on your job? Do you have communication on your job? It's required. Do you have cell service everywhere on your job? Do you have handheld radios if you do not have that? Do you have CBs? Whichever works on your job, doesn't really matter, as long as you have that communication. If somebody gets hurt, can you get off-site? Can you get to an ambulance? Can you get to where the helicopter needs to come in and give them a grid coordinate in order to land?
We got to stay on our toes. A lot of times when we have our safety meetings, of course, we'll just talk about normal things, like the trucks. Sometimes a newer driver will try to throw a strap over while the truck's being loaded, the back tier or something. So we'll discuss stuff like that, just normal things like that they don't even realize sometimes that we're talking about safety or things, just like what happened yesterday or what happened last week. We're all family out here. I mean, I have my 3 sons out here, and we definitely want to be as safe as possible. And through this Timber Safe program, I mean, it's really brought safety to a forefront.
So let's recap. 1, make sure your crew is wearing the proper PPE. And most importantly, make sure it is in good shape. If it is torn up, if it is broken, replace it. Make sure it is being worn correctly. No hard hats on backwards, just the way the manufacturer intended. 2, operate and maintain your equipment according to the manufacturer. 3. Plan your operation so safe separation can be maintained, meaning keep that 2 tree length distance between yourself, between other equipment, so that way there everybody is out of the danger zone. 4. Hold and document monthly safety meetings and have every employee that is at that meeting sign off on it also. And 5. Make sure your crew can maintain constant communication with each other. If you're on a job where communication is lost because of terrain, figure out a way to communicate each other in real time, not after the fact.
Those may be just the top 5 of the violations I've seen. There's other things to take into account on a log job. The fact of the matter is, loggers are very independent people. When you're on a log job and something breaks down, you fix it. When your road needs cleaned up, you need to take off the high center road, you do it. When things need to be done on the job, you do it yourself. The passion that we take at Timber Safe Network is not to stop your job and slow down your production, but to be a benefit to the job that you're already doing. The job that we have behind us is a high production job, fully mechanized, but we visit crews that are a lot smaller, a lot less production, that cut everything by hand. Just as important to have a safety program there. So if OSHA ever does show up in this job, you will already have the tools in place to be compliant, to give them the information they want, to walk the job and see the things they want to see, and to be able to do the things you still want to do, but having that safety focus just as important as production.